What's the hottest couple in Senate? Oh, hard-hitting questions.
Has to be Smoke and Annie for me.
Okay. I feel like you came out that answer way too quickly. You've thought about this.
I have thought about it. I love a grump. Everyone who knows me knows I love a grump. Just works.
Well, is because it's funny for most of the movie. I was differentiating them by calling one the anxious one and one the assured one. Well, it's funny that you read it as grumpiness.
Yeah,
I,
he's
I was
just a
just like
grump.
he's anxious, and scared of life.
Aren't all grumps anxious and scared of life if you really think about it? Like,
I don't know. I don't
just...
have that level of introspection, so I can't tell.
Okay. It's okay. We'll let it die there.
No, you can analyze me.
Yeah,
I just can't
like,
analyze myself.
when you look at the state of the world, like, obviously, your reaction to it is just going to be like, damn, man, like, fuck this. What am I going to do? What's
So
going to happen?
just to get things out, the bullet points. You love a grump.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone listening to this that doesn't think they're a grump should know that they're a grump.
He's fully,
you believe.
whoever is listening to this surely is fully aware that they are a grump. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just glad to have it on the record.
On record? Oh, it's fine.
Public domain.
They know. It's common knowledge. It's all good.
Hello and welcome back to the Popcorn for Dinner podcast. The podcast where we are still that annoying friend that is still talking about sinners. But we're sorry. It's the movie of the moment. Today we're sharing more of our thoughts on Ryan Coogler's excellent film, Sinners. And then later we'll probably, hopefully, try and check in some other TV shows that we are watching that aren't The Last of Us. And joining me once again, after our, I think, to be fair, harrowing and tumultuous holiday in Thailand. She's the sole reason that Sinners is a box office success. It's Lolade.
Hi, guys. Happy to be back.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
We were
good.
going to podcast, we're going to rest, and then
Yeah,
Sinners
here
was
we
better than
are.
we expected.
2 weeks later.
Has it been just... No. Wait, yes.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks.
I need to sleep. I can't wait to talk about Sinners.
Mm-hmm.
So we're recording this a week after we both watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've not spoken about it for a week.
Yeah.
Because we would like to save the good content for the podcast. We won't talk about it together, but at the same time we want to talk about it on the podcast. So what do we do? So guys, we always like to save our real reactions for the podcast. But before we go into all of that, if you want to get a more in-depth conversation, because this is not going to be that in-depth because we're just going to gush, you can listen to Aisha and Ebuka talk about it. It's right there on the feed. It literally came out 2 days ago, so you can listen to that. They went more in depth, a great conversation about the film, what worked for them, what didn't work for them, just the performances, Coogler as a filmmaker, and lots of other stuff. The music, obviously. And we're covering Last of Us Season 2. That coverage is ongoing weekly, so you can check that out. If you just found out about us, we had a very busy Q1. We're covering most of the shows you're probably watching: Severance, The White Lotus, Invincible, Yellow Jacket. So just check on the feed. Please feel free to rate and review wherever you're listening or watching this. If it's YouTube, please like and subscribe. You can also switch between our audio and video formats if you're listening on Spotify. Okay. Let's go into Sinners. This is obviously Ryan Coogler. Like we said, Ryan Coogler wrote and directed this film. This isn't the first time you've podcasted about Michael B. Jordan, is it?
Why do you do this? Why? Yes, it is the first
Is
time
this?
that
Oh,
I've
sorry.
recorded on
Oh,
Michael B. Jordan
oh,
and
okay.
that it will see the light of day.
Okay.
Let's leave it at that.
Paint the picture for me. Let's start from the start. What was your experience watching this film?
I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. I had a good time. And just so you know, this was a musical. And you know how I feel about musicals. This was
Do you not
right
like
up my
musicals?
alley. I love
Oh,
musicals.
okay. I was about to have a whole different podcast just now. I was like, wait, what?
No. I love musicals. So this was great. I enjoyed it. I had a great time. I'm I have no do I? No, there wasn't anything for me to complain about.
Oh, I was talking to A about this, one of the many concerns I've had about this movie since it came
Mhm.
out, because he just watched it. He watched it a bit late because it wasn't. And then I was like, it's in that echelon of films where like I have no interest in thinking about the flaws.
Yeah.
And like this is why I routinely say we on this podcast are not critics, because like as a critic, it's your duty to look at both sides. I'm just like I choose to only look at the good things of this film. I literally do not care. Why would I want to do that to myself? I don't want to think about what the flaws might be.
Yeah.
Um, you said something happened at your screening that you didn't tell me about.
Yes. Yes, 2 things that actually
Okay,
wait, one annoyed me, one didn't. I'm gonna start with the one mm, that didn't
start
annoy
with the one
me.
that annoyed you. Start with the one that
One that
annoyed you.
annoyed me, okay, so I bought my ticket Wednesday evening.
Hmm.
So I was prepped, I was ready. I bought my ticket. Only one other person had bought their ticket, and I strategically picked a seat where I knew no
Hmm.
one would be around me because I I like going to the movies on Saturdays and Sundays at between 10 and 12 p.m., 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. because I know nobody's gonna be there. And there were people there. I wasn't too pleased about it. There was this couple. They were sitting right behind
Well,
me.
the audio listeners don't know
Oh,
what you
okay.
just
Um, there was a white couple sitting behind me,
yeah,
and they were just talking too goddamn much. It's
yeah.
not that they were talking; they can talk. That's fine. Why could I hear you? Every word you were saying,
About the
whisper
movie.
about the movie, about the previews, the trailers. They were just complaining about everything. I was
Oh, they were
irritated.
complaining.
Yeah, they were like, I think the Thunderbolts trailer came on and
True.
they were like, yeah, Marvel just sucks right now. They just not making good movies. It's just trash. And then they were talking about the Fantastic Four as well. I'm just like, can you just
But were they complaining during Sinners as well? Like about
um
film?
I don't know if they were complaining. The movie was loud, so I couldn't hear them, but I could hear them
Mhm,
like whispering.
mhm,
What their talking is what annoyed me. I feel like people
mhm.
don't have theater etiquette anymore.
But I think have you and I discussed this
No,
about?
you haven't.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It might be COVID. Maybe like how old were this couple?
They were like I think they were like my age, like mid-20s.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing. I think a lot of people pre-COVID, where obviously it's not a blanket statement because you're not like this, but like people that were like maybe 16, 17,
Mhm.
18, even 19
Mhm.
pre-COVID are now like 24 and thereabouts, and they've
Yeah.
just lost that kind of etiquette. I
Yeah.
think the 5 years of COVID just not obviously not 5 years, but you get what I mean, have kind
Mhm.
of affected the way we've like kind of deal with social situations. So those people that are like in their mid 20s now just didn't learn that social etiquette, and lots of people have also forgotten social etiquette. It's really weird. 'Cause I do think because people do a lot
Yeah.
more in cinemas now,
And
people are a lot
it's
weirder in public now. Yeah,
yeah. It really annoyed me, and I know it's like live a little, like it's not that deep, but it is deep.
and it's that deep.
Shut up.
This is the right podcast. It's that
just
deep.
just keep quiet or like whisper. I'm not saying don't talk, but like I don't want to hear you while I'm trying to focus or like watch my movie. I don't care for
Yeah,
your conversation. Anyways, they just kept talking through the entire movie, just chit-chatting. And the minute the movie was done, they ran out of there so quickly. They didn't even stay for the mid-credit scene.
yeah.
They were gone. And I just thought that was funny.
I'm surprised they even finished the film in that
I was
case.
surprised they finished it too. They ran out of there, which is
What
interesting.
what made you happy? You said
The
something.
funny one?
Mhm.
So, right before the movie starts, is 3 middle-aged, also white women.
What? Yeah.
showed up and they sat down and they looked cute. And the movie starts and it gets to the second scene. So I think this is where Sammy is working in the plantation.
Okay.
Yeah. They just got up and they left. Now, I want to believe maybe they were at the wrong at the wrong theater. Maybe they were meant to watch another movie. I don't know.
I mean,
And
what
they
else is going on?
realized
And it's like,
maybe
shit, I'm not doing a
maybe
slave.
they're trying to
The
watch
slave.
The Chosen because there's the Chosen movie out right now. Maybe
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe that was their screening. They they sped walk at they
They're
were
like,
brisk walking.
oh
I
hell no, no,
That
I'm not
was
doing a
so
slave.
funny. I laughed harder than I should have at that. It was so funny.
Oh my god, that's funny. Well, since we're saying experience, I'll just quickly say mine. So I also booked my ticket ahead of time,
Uh-huh.
very specifically picked like I know the row I want, and because I wanted this Saturday as well, so it
Yeah.
wasn't. I didn't think it would be that packed, but it was like Saturday at no, it was Saturday at 4 p.m. to be fair. So I picked like right in the middle, 12 of like a 25
Mhm.
seater row and everything. And I was like an hour early, which weird. That was not intentional. It was like
An hour.
I got like my timings mixed up in my head. So I was
Okay.
on the bus an hour early, and I was
Mhm.
like, oh shit, this is probably I'm gonna be tired when I'm watching the movie. Obviously, that's why I know the movie was good because I was just like I forgot that like that hour just felt like nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I sit down and then like a couple come and they sit down right beside me. Okay. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I just moved like a seat to the right. So I'm like, there's still a space between the two of us. Then another couple come and they're like, oh, so I'm like in one of their seats. So we end
Aw.
up being like five people just in a row, like touching each other. And I was like, I can't remember the last time that happened to me in the cinema. And I looked at, I was like, oh, should I move it? Should I move it? But I looked around and like the ideal seats, like behind me, for example, were
Mhm.
taken as well. In front of me were taken. So I couldn't, if I was moving it, I'd be inconveniencing myself, which was, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, and I was like, oh, maybe this movie's actually going to do well. Um, and it was funny because so the way it was set was like it was a girl, her boyfriend, me in the middle, a boyfriend, and then his girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
So it's girl, guy, 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 girl. And then the scene when Pearline is like she's married, and then Sam is like happily,
Happily, yeah.
the three guys started laughing, and then the two girlfriends are quiet. And I was just like, men will be men, boys will be boys. Okay, let's actually just talk about the movie itself.
Yeah.
This is an excellent film. I haven't even been able to put a letterbox review, and I just gave up on doing one. I don't know how you can write a letterbox review of this film
Mhm.
because Ibuka and Aisha spoke for an hour 40 minutes. We're going to speak for maybe about 40 minutes here, but we're still not really. I've had like 3 or 4 different conversations on the phone, but like, and everyone kind of goes to a different point. Like, we're still not going to cover the depth of this film because there's
No.
just so much going on. And then I think the most important thing out of everything that goes on in this film is that it is fun and it is cool. Like, it has all these ideas, but it's also just a very fun and
Yeah.
cool film. Like, it's a movie just brimming with like you could go to this movie. Like, if somebody went to the movie and like they came out and they didn't think about, not that they didn't think about race, but like they didn't think about any of the big ideas, I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, that's fine. Like, because you can still have such a very good
Good
time. And I
time.
think it
Yeah.
makes sense because obviously Coogler is someone who, apart from Fruitvale Station, he's done Creed, he's done the two Black Panthers, right? So those are movies that are
Mhm.
like very popcorn. Even he was a producer, and this hasn't come up a lot in any of the discussion around this movie, which I find very interesting, because he was a producer on Judas and the Black Messiah, which is the movie that Daniel Kaluuya won his Oscar
Mhm.
for. And that movie itself is also it's obviously a very heavy movie, and it's a movie about big. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a movie about big themes and big ideas, but it's also presented in a very fun kind
Fun
of like
way.
FBI espionage thing. And like it's kind of like the thing where, I mean, that one is a bit impossible to not think about like the big ideas in that film because it's right there. But like it's
It's
still it's a it's a movie that has a like a shootout scene. Like it's kind of like he packages his movies in all this kind of like very fun, accessible ways. And this movie, and I was talking about it, we said it on Twitter, like the first act of this film I'm not bold enough to say it's my best act because I just haven't thought about it like that. But like, it's
Mhm.
so enjoyable. Like the
It
getting the team
is.
together. I was
It
like,
was
oh, I
so fun.
was like, oh, we could just live here. I don't
It was
mind.
so fun.
Just like,
Let's talk about that. The
yeah,
tweets. Like you responded to my tweet. But like
tell the
I
audience what
know.
tweets you're talking about. Like, just give them what the tweets were
So the
saying.
tweet said that they found the beginning of the movie too slow. They
Mm,
felt like it wasn't needed. You're wrong. You're wrong. I I know, okay. It's art. People consume art different ways. Like what something might mean something to you and it won't mean something to someone else, but
mhm.
you're you're wrong. You needed that context for the entire movie. What do you mean? You just wanted them to start at the juke joint?
To
And you're
start with
like,
vampires.
"Oh, wow." Like, what are you talking about? I
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
how people are consuming media or consuming movies.
yeah, as you know, I'm trying right now to be a bit better and not like engaging with this, or even not even engaging, just seeing them. I'm trying to avoid
Mhm.
seeing this kind of ideas. But yeah, no, I think the only thing I put in my top review was like every movie should have a getting the team together on one task. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was good, it was fun, it was like, and I was talking to Ibuka about this, and I was like, why does it work? Why does that montage always work?
Mhm.
And I was trying to figure it out. I was like, oh, okay. I think because I think there are two ways, right? There's the one where it's like there's the Oppenheimer version where it's just really cool, getting all these very smart people together and like you're trying to do something.
Mhm.
And then there's this version which is, I guess, Ocean's 11 is more of this than Oppenheimer, even though it's a bit of both. But it's like these people meeting their long lost friends. Like
Yeah.
they haven't seen these guys in 7 years, and I think that's kind of the idea of like it's that it has this kind of family of it, and it's just like oh, and then made this point about how Smoke and Stack kind of recruited everybody in in a new way, in a different way, because they know each other, because they have this kind of bonds. It's just kind of and it establishes everything so that by the time you're fighting vampires in the third act, you understand why people are sacrificing each other. You understand why Annie calls Haley Steinfeld family because like
Yeah.
this guy's just like that relationship is there, right? So
Mhm.
I I really really enjoyed the first act, and obviously the second act is just also again the second act is incredible because it's just fun. And I only remember this recently, and I want to use this to get into your thoughts on Remick. I only remember this recently because I was thinking about the film, and I remember that when Remick first appears, I was sad because even though I knew like the overall plot of the film,
Mhm.
I was sad because I was like, oh, this time is over. This having fun with my friends time is over. Like now it's time
Mhm.
for like the fighting vampires part. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I was like, can't you just like like because you know the film is gonna happen, but I'm still trying to will it into existence, will
Mhm.
that they just go and like these guys just get to have their night at the juke joint. That's how invested I was in like in their relationships and them having fun and them
Yeah.
partying and all of that stuff. Um let's talk about Remick. I want to hear your thoughts on Remick, and then we'll talk
Mhm.
about that scene, the scene. Um Remick, do you have any big picture thoughts before I ask you certain questions about Remick?
I liked his performance. I think he was great. He was really good. He convinced me. He was a real cunt. I liked it. Big picture thoughts, like on the character. Um,
Oh, just any, is there anything you have on your notes that you want to talk about? Like,
Rennick. Okay. Yeah. I just wrote that Jack O'Connell was fantastic. I enjoyed Remick as a character. Um, Again, discourse. He really wasn't that complex a character.
yeah, this is good. This is interesting because I got into a bit of an argument with Ibuka about this, in which I was wrong
Yeah.
because I think this is one of the litmus tests about the film because I think Ibuka was like he's not complex or he's not a complex villain. And because I
Mhm.
think because of the way we talk about film and TV over the last few years, my brain has kind of equated not complex to bad, which is obviously not correct. So I had to when I spoke to him, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's not what you meant. You meant that just like it's quite obvious what he wants, right? There's no, and I think because like when we say complex villain, we usually kind of mean that's good. And there's a whole different thing here we can't get into now because I was like, okay, so it is Killmonger complex, it's Thanos complex, because
Mm.
Thanos is quite straightforward, even though there's still an idea of. Because for me, the thing with Remick and maybe the diaspora, I hope the diaspora comes and says they want to fight me about this because it just means more popularity for this podcast. But my thing with Remick, because I was just like, during the movie, I was like, hey, I wish we don't just like hear him out for like 5 minutes. Like, I wish I don't just want to like, I'm not saying agree, but just let's just hear him out. He's making some points that I think this need to be considered. That's all I'm saying. I was just like, I was
Mm.
fully on let's fucking kill Remick. Just I was like, let's just hear him out a bit. And I'll ask you this question.
Mhm.
So Ebuka read Remick last time we spoke about it. And guys, like I said, please go listen to Ebuka Naisha's episode on this film. It's a lot more
Yes,
thorough
please.
than what we're going to do here. But Ebuka had the idea that Remick was lying. So his idea, and I think during the episode he said that he's kind of maybe willing to go with the general consensus. But his idea was that Remick was saying anything he needed to say to get into the barn, to get Sammy.
Okay.
And I read Remick, even in the movie, I read it as a lot more honest. Like that, this were his true beliefs. He did believe in he did believe in community. He did believe in like them becoming one and sharing their talent and everything. And
I
I
mean,
think he said that Remick would kill everybody in his coven to get to Sammy. I don't agree with that, but then it's like again, I guess it depends on how you read him as a villain.
yeah. Yeah, I do believe he does believe in like love and unity and like what he was preaching.
Mhm.
But like it still doesn't mean he's a good guy. Like cult
Oh no
leaders,
no
yeah,
no no! He's not like
not
a good
good
guy. No.
guys are like he's coming from a good place. Like okay, hear him out, yeah. But like cult leaders also believe in like community and
Mhm.
togetherness. And he wants people's talent. And that's what he needs for the entire coven. Again, how vampirism works and how he's their sire, etc, etc. I'm not gonna get into all of that. But like I don't necessarily agree with the point that he would kill his coven to get to Sammy. I think he would
Mhm.
want Sammy to join. Would he sacrifice a number of them? Yeah, but kill everyone off? No.
I just saw something I saw about him kind of being, I guess, maybe a predator or a vulture in terms of people taking people's talent. I don't know if I read
Yeah.
it like that. Is that how you? Because you said something like similar to like, wasn't the idea that they're all sharing the talents? So, for
Yeah.
example, couldn't
Mm,
Stack speak Chinese now, or was the only Remy that could speak Chinese?
mm, good point. No, I still think he gets them.
So only he gets them.
I feel like only he gets them.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, yes. In that case, that's capitalism. Okay, I thought I thought it was a case of once somebody joins the coven, everybody kind of like it's communism rather.
Communal? No.
Yeah.
I think
Um.
it was he gets it as the sire.
Okay. And then that's interesting. But yeah, no, I did like I think he's very plainly a villain. I don't think he's like I guess what people are saying is I get the read is like I don't think he's an anti-hero or he's misunderstood or I think he's plainly a villain. But I think it was like a villain where I was like he's not coming like he's just not coming up with entirely wrong ideas or wrong takes. I really don't know how to put it. I'm not sure. Like I was like, oh, okay, I'm willing to like no, I'm listening to him. I'm like if somebody was okay, let me put it this way: if Lindo stepped out of
Mhm.
the cabin, I was like, you know what, I willingly want to join your coven. I wouldn't have like been angry with him. Let me put it that way. I would have like, I get it. I understand why you did that.
Fair.
I think that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, it's like I wouldn't have been like, "You're stupid. What are you doing? That makes no sense. You're joining a terrorist organization." I'm like, I get it. You made a point because the KKK are coming for you. Everything in this world is set up against you.
Mhm.
I get why you would willingly join this. So like, if somebody's willingly joined, I don't know. Yeah, makes sense to me.
Mm.
I don't know if I would do it personally, but I understand if somebody would do it. Yeah. Um. Let's talk about the scene. and
Okay.
then because again, well, obviously this is kind of like a scattershot conversation that we're having because it's impossible to talk about this
Aren't
movie
they
in depth.
always?
Yeah, they
Aren't
are.
all our
Uh,
conversations?
and so, what did you think about this? And by the scene, I mean Preacher Boy and Perlene.
Oh, what is wrong with you? What is your problem? Oh my god. Anyways, all I have to say is those niggas in the 1930s, they were
Ah,
foo.
that wasn't that wasn't the scene I meant, but
They're
it was worth it for the reaction.
so
Uh,
freaked out. I respect it. Shout out to
yeah.
them.
Um, okay, this is not it, but let me just so when the first time, first of all, it's insane that like Ibuka said, is saying that Conor Lincoln was referenced 3 times in this film. That's just the first time Stack is talking to Sammy,
Yeah, in the car.
and then in the car, I'm like,
Mhm.
huh, okay, Coogler, this is you're just trying to show us that you're not under Disney. Like you're really trying to prove. I was just like, I was like, I get you can do this. Obviously, we're welcoming sex in film, but like, is it needed? Is it just a random scene that? But and I was like, oh, actually, no. It actually plays a major part in the
Yeah,
plot of the
it
film.
does.
It isn't just a throwaway line.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, no, this was. I did. It's. I find it so interesting that Kogler wrote. I think this is the only film since maybe Fruitvale Station that he wrote by himself.
Really?
So this is
Mhm.
entirely like his
Just him?
brain, like just him. I believe Creed, I think he wrote that with Stallone. The two Black Panthers wrote them with different people. Like he's obviously always written on his films, but I think this is the first time that it's written, purely
Just
written
him?
and directed by him. And I was like, oh, this is just all you.
Shout out to
Like
his
this is
brain.
just yeah, this is just all you. I mean, just in terms of writing, like this film
Mhm.
is so thick in lore. Like you can tell that this is somebody that, first of all, redefined Rocky, but also loves the Marvel comics so much because, like,
Mhm.
just in passing conversation, there is like movies worth of lore here. Like, there's the stuff about how these guys grew up. There's the entire thing about them in Chicago, which I would watch
Yeah,
that movie.
I would.
Like I would be there day one. Like there's just so much lore in just in terms of their conversations where you're just like, oh, this is just such a rich. It must
Mhm.
have been so great for the actors because like you don't even need to make up stuff for the backstory. Everything is just already there
It's there for
in the
you.
dialogue.
Mhm.
Um, but okay, no, but what I was talking about the scene, I am talking about the scene that happens. I guess maybe halfway through the film,
Yeah.
maybe towards the end of the second act after
Mhm.
and then Preacher Boy starts singing, and like you said, it's a musical. And I think that's the first time I really like, oh, this is actually a musical, which is
Yeah.
something that I did not know about this film. Which, sorry to keep on pushing it, I'm going to cut to you.
It's fine.
I tried to have, obviously, as you know, I was trying to stay offline before this movie came out, so I knew people liked this film. I knew it's cool. I always knew it was going to be good.
Mhm.
But luckily, I wasn't online, so I didn't know how good it was. I
It
didn't know
was.
how much people loved it. And I think if I was
Mhm.
also online, certain things that have been spoiled for me.
Mhm.
Like I'm sure if I was on online, I'd have seen a thing like, oh, that's that Sammy scene or something, right?
Yeah.
So like this scene came out of nowhere for me. What did you think about like this scene? 'Cause
The
obviously,
scene?
it's not universally loved, which I kind of understood going coming out that might be the case, but I think it's
Mhm.
the majority of people do love the scene. But what did you think of the scene?
First of all, I was talking to Aisha after I watched the movie, and I was talking to Aisha, I was talking to C about it, and I was like, I feel like I touched heaven. Now,
Mhm,
music is very, very important to me. It's a very big part of my life. And I just thought that scene, that montage was spectacular. I thought it was fantastic. And I understand why some people wouldn't like it, but I don't know. I That was beautiful to me.
mhm,
He starts singing and then the ancestors come
mhm,
and he becomes an ancestor, right? Because they go into like 80s, 90s hip hop and
mhm,
stuff. And the masquerades from West Africa, like the dancing, everything about it. I thought it was great. I felt like I was ascending.
Mhm,
And I watched it in IMAX, so the sound was
mhm,
I could feel it in my bloodstream.
mhm.
I was tuned in. I loved it.
I so that scene starts with Lindo telling Preacher Boy to start singing.
Mhm.
And obviously earlier in the movie he has basically like, "You're too young. What
Mhm.
do you know about the blues?"
Yep.
Which from a creating point of view makes sense because we have this idea that especially something like the blues, right? Or
Mhm.
music in general, and also generally art, that you create things from pain, from the things you go through. And
Mhm.
Lindo is like, "You've not gone through shit. You're
Yep.
too young to know this thing." But then he starts singing, and he's singing with the voice that you can't fake, right? And then he starts singing about the fact that he's been lying to his dad since he was 8.
Yeah.
And then you're then like, oh, you don't have to be 60 to have had pain. You don't have
Mhm.
to be 60 to be able to create something. This is a
Mhm.
boy that is maybe in his early 20s, whatever.
Mhm.
And he has enough pain in him to create music that some 60-year-olds would never be able to create. So at that point, I was already in love with the scene. And then obviously it goes up a gear. And there are certain scenes that I watch in a film, like I literally do the like sit it forward meme,
Yeah.
right? And then this one was a lot more interesting because I sat forward, but then I had like my finger on my temple because I was also thinking, I was like, it was weird as I was watching it and enjoying it, I was just thinking, why is this working? And like, obviously I might be Coogler pill, but like for almost any other director doing this, it wouldn't work.
Mhm.
Like it would come off hokey or
Mhm.
campy. And so obviously some people have those feelings about this one as well. But I was just like, it just does so many different things. And like you said, he becomes an ancestor, which I was like, oh, this is a different level. Because I think when you see the ancestors at first, you're like, okay, this is normal. Not normal, but like
Mhm.
we understand it. We understand this visual language.
Yeah.
But I do think, and I've been trying to figure out a way to put this in words and even get evidence, but I can't. I think we don't usually see descendants in things like this.
Mm-mm.
We see, it's easy to
Mm-mm.
see, think about Black Panther, we see ancestors. We
Yeah.
usually see somebody's lineage, like their past
Yeah.
lineage, but we never really see what's coming. And I think because I think it's because in film, it's easier to go back than it is to like go forward.
Look
Because going
forward,
forward,
yeah.
you're living the world that you've established in a way that is not, because we all think.
Mhm.
Like everybody, I can ask you, do you remember what happened 5 years ago? And you can think back to 5 years ago, but you can't think
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
So once he does that and he goes forward, he's breaking this kind of contract that we have. Because usually when you see a film does a flash forward, it's either with a character or something that you know they would experience, or they're just like
Mhm.
it's usually not, or it's like a parallel universe, whatever. But like something is like he's breaking a contract here. So
Mhm.
once you see the DJ, once you see the woman
Oh,
twerking,
yes.
it's just broken this contract, and then it's like, what are we on, right? Like it takes over your body ways. You can't
Yes.
think again. It's not a
Yes.
feeling that you're having.
That's how I
And
felt.
it's like when the Chinese dancers as well
Yeah.
come in, it's just
Mhm.
it breaks so many rules and it's so audacious. And I was listening to Coogler talk about it and he was like, yeah, like this is the only medium I could do this. Like he wanted to show the fact that like this pain that blues was born out of
Yeah.
will create something beautiful, right? Whether it's
Mhm.
hip hop or R&B or
Mhm.
Afrobeats or whatever, it will eventually create something beautiful. And the only way he could do that was by doing that in this scene.
Mhm.
And it's such an audacious swing, and it's just like like you said, it's rooted and entrenched in music. So if you love music, you should already be there. But it's also just like from a filmmaking point of view, if you love filmmakers being bold, it's just also there. And I was
Mhm.
just like, I think, and not to spoil, no, I won't spoil it now because literally an idea for a podcast came to my head during that scene. But I do personally, I think that is the scene that takes this movie from like very good to great.
I agree with you.
I think if this scene is not in the movie, I'm like, that's a very good film.
Mhm.
But I think that scene being that movie just takes it to like a 5-star perfect film for me.
Oh, it
It's like,
does.
I just, the entire thesis of the film is put in a scene
Rooted in that scene, yeah.
that is sonically, visually, thematically beautiful, and just like everything, it's there all the way to the point of like the whole place burning down, and then you see the vampire. So like every literal part, either it's community or it's
Mm,
music or it's the supernatural, everything is connected in just that one scene. And you're just like,
yep.
I what can you say? I have been thinking about that scene for so long, and it's like,
I think about that scene so much. Like I have listened to that song at least
mhm.
twice a day since I saw the movie on Saturday. It, it's that good.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Yeah, it's. I was telling so people can hear this story. Like when I watch Widows, everyone should please go watch Widows. There's a great scene in Widows. It's not a spoiler, so I'm just going to describe it. But like, it follows a character who is like kind of like a shady-ish governor. Maybe I can't remember, but he's in Chicago, and he's telling just random widows aside, he's at like an impoverished area. So he's leaving that area, and then the camera is on his car. So he's in the car, and then the camera just half of the camera is the background, the other part is the car, but you don't even see him in the car. And it just shows this impoverished background as he's driving. And then halfway through the scene, the camera in the same take, the camera turns to the other side of the car as he's now turning into the like the richer part of the neighborhood. So it's like this one take scene that's showing like the two sides. It's showing like this guy, this white male that's come from a richer side to kind of um help save the black impoverished people. Anyway, it's a great scene. And I was watching that scene in cinema, it's like it's this is gonna sound so nerdy. But when I watch certain scenes, I like just the awe of it makes me start like I start tearing up. I'm just like, what
It's
is going
okay,
on?
Banky. Everyone knows you're a nerd. It's fine.
But so I've had that experience maybe 3 or 4 times in the cinema. That widow scene, the challenges final set, and obviously Dune, the sort of Dune when I can't remember what they're called now, but when they just go into the air, and you're like, what am I watching? Why is
Mhm.
this happening? So like, and then this, but I also think this is the most I've ever, like, this is the best feeling I've ever had watching that scene. Watching a scene like that is just like, it just transports you on so many different levels, emotional,
Mhm.
and obviously like, as we're black,
Yeah.
it deals a lot with West African music in that scene alone.
Yeah.
Um, we want to create things. So a lot of things are already there, it mixing the ingredients for it to work for me. But so it's just, I was just like, this is it. This is the scene that makes this movie a best film of the year contender. This is the scene that makes this film takes the film to the next stratosphere. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's like we've had over the last, okay, let me throw this at you. So over the last 4 or 5 years, we've had Top Gun Maverick in 22,
Mhm.
I think, Oppenheimer in 23.
Mhm.
These are mine at least. Dune 2 and Challenges 24, and then this in 25. I think those movies all kind of gave me the same kind of feeling about cinema, about film, and all of that stuff. To me, this is the most, this is the best.
It's good.
Right. Like Dune 2 had the advantage of being based on like it was a sequel to a movie I already liked.
Mhm.
Oppenheimer was like Oppenheimer was just weird because this is like Nolan, but at the same time it was meant to be like a World War II film. So like,
Yeah.
but even at that, so, but like Maverick, I didn't watch Maverick in IMAX, which was the problem. So like maybe if I had watched Maverick in IMAX, I'd be like, nah, Maverick is number one. But this was the one. This is the one that I'm like levitated the most out after the cinema. It's not the difference is not that much, but it's like there. But what about you? Like in terms of like cinema experiences, just in general, like is it up there for you?
Definitely. Definitely, definitely, definitely. I don't even think I can gush more about this movie and the things that I felt watching and even after. Felt like I was on a cloud after. And not just because of how good it yeah, because of how good it was. It was also sort of inspiring, like to see the
Hmm.
work everybody put into it. And it just inspired me to like, work harder, like grind
Hmm.
harder. Like look at what people are creating.
Yeah,
Do you know what I like,
yeah.
this is just someone's brainchild. Like, he
Yeah.
sat down and he was like, "You know what's gonna look amazing? Like, you know what scene? Like, I think for this scene we should do this and do that." Like,
Mhm. It's just, and it's, I love it. You love it when everybody's working at the top of their game. There's,
yes.
I think Aisha alluded to this, but I'll just retreat it because I remember it now.
Mhm.
When Daryl Lindo is telling the story about the lynching, because I remember
Yeah.
being struck by this in the cinema.
Yeah.
You start hearing the lynching.
Yeah, like what was happening.
So
It's in the
much so that
background. You can
I
hear
thought
it.
we're gonna cut. I thought we're gonna cut to it. We never do. So it's just, I was just
Mhm.
like, oh, that was when I was like, oh, Ludwig, okay, okay, sure. This is all before even the whole preacher boy sequence. Though I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna get Ludwig instead. Oscar. Like everyone is working. Like all the people behind the scenes are just
They're
working so well, and
working.
and then the acting is just.
Child. Yeah, it's sorry.
I just
It's
like.
it's so inspiring. I don't know how else to put it. It's so inspiring. It's so motivating. Like you said, everybody is doing the damn thing. Ludwig, the score, the music,
Mhm.
they're doing amazing. Even the costume, the acting. I love Michael B. Jordan, but I think I love him even more
I
after
think
this.
it's his best. I think we have to agree that this is his best performance.
What?
I I hadn't, because I haven't watched Creed movies, I think, as you know, so I hadn't seen him in a romantic relationship that I believed. And in this film, I saw it twice. Like, do you know what it means that you've never seen it before? I'm just like, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing it twice. It's literally what they say about bosses. I was just like, oh, okay, so okay, because he's attractive, he's a movie star,
Yeah.
these things are known, but I didn't really see him in a love story that I was like, oh, I believe this, and then happening
I
twice in the movie. So.
I agree with you. I think like the romantic aspects of this movie are way better than his acting and like marriage to Tessa Thompson in the
Mhm.
Creed
Yeah.
movies.
So it was one of those things where I was just like, and again, obviously Coogler knows him. He's been in every Brian Coogler film, so I'm sure just as much Coogler knows him, he knows Coogler. So like,
I hope they keep working together
yeah, yeah, I don't think I'll be surprised if they, like, maybe they maybe
forever.
one or two, but like I'm sure they'll keep
They
on
have to
doing it.
keep working
Keep on
together.
doing it. Yeah, it's just he's really good in this film. He
Mm.
like I said the when I knew that Michael B. Jordan was gonna be acting in this film was when Miles Keaton starts singing in the car.
He was like, "Oh, yeah."
That reaction, you don't act that reaction.
Mhm.
You don't practice that reaction in the mirror the day before. That
Mm.
reaction is something that comes up organically
Mhm.
because like you're in the scene, you're in the
Yeah,
character.
and you're
And
actually reacting.
when he did that, I was like, oh, okay, okay, everybody's cooking in this film. Everybody's ready. Like obviously there's the Daryl Lindo monologue that they sent in the
Amazing.
car. It's really good. It's funny. After watching The Good Fight and that clip that's been going around on Twitter for years, just hearing him say nigga is just always funny. Yeah, and I'm just like obviously Jack O'Connell, as we mentioned. I don't want to go down the list because everyone is great. People like us who,
Yeah, we're gonna sleep here if we keep
yeah,
going.
I don't want to do, yeah, Wumi Masako is always good. Those of us who had Emily Dickinson stocks in Haley Steinfeld,
Alright now.
paying off big time. Is,
Alright now.
I haven't even said
Okay.
anything.
It's
Um,
okay.
I there's a shot. I haven't told you this. I'm literally 5 minutes, 10 minutes away from going to watch my second viewing.
Really?
So yeah. Um, I think the first shot of this film is of two sons. I need to go back and rewatch it, but I think because I remember seeing that, I think I gasped. Like literally, the first shot is like a sun, and it's like a reflection of the sun, but it's like a bit faded, right beside each other. I'll go and check on my rewatch, and I was just like, okay, we're cooking. Like it's
Yeah.
twins. Like the first shot of the film is telling a story already, and I was just like,
Yeah.
okay, sure, go ahead, keep on cooking. Um, is there anything else that you haven't mentioned that you want to talk about? Obviously, there's too
Uh,
much, but you get what I mean.
yeah, I do want to talk about something just briefly. Just want to preach a little. People have been saying they feel like the post-credit scene was
Okay,
unnecessary.
wait, sorry. Apparently, there's a post-credit scene,
Yeah.
like not the mid-credit scene.
No, it
There's
was a
one.
post one.
No, apparently there's one after, like after the credits.
What do you mean? Like of
Like there's.
Miles singing?
Oh wait. Oh, so you just spoiled it. Thank you.
What do you mean? Thank you. You should have waited. That's on you.
I should have waited. I should have waited.
Oh, then what I'm about to
Um.
say doesn't make sense then.
Well. Oh no. So
Uh,
I know. So I obviously saw the mid-credit scene of
yeah,
with the guy, but I didn't know there
yeah,
was another scene after.
yeah.
Well, go say what you want to say. It's my fault for not watching it.
the post credit scene is Sammy in the church
Oh, okay.
singing "This Little Light of Mine" and playing the guitar. And
Okay.
I've seen people saying they don't think it was necessary, but I kind of disagree. I do
Mhm.
feel like it was not necessary, but like it's not there for no reason. Like it shows you where Sammy started in the church. He's
Mhm.
singing, and the song he's singing is very specific. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
that's the whole thing Remick is after. That's the whole thing his dad is after too.
Mhm.
And his dad tells him he takes the guitar and he has to go get it. And he's like, this, I'm going to let this light shine. He went with his cousins because he was going to go perform. And then at the end of the movie, he comes back, his dad is like, drop that guitar, denounce the devil, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm. Mhm.
But like Sammy is actively still saying, I'm going to let this light shine.
Mhm.
That's the whole point. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I don't know. That's what I took it
No,
as.
I
And
mean that's
I'm
a great
right,
read.
by
Two
the
things
way.
about that. Because I've listened to because obviously there's a playlist, there's a soundtrack, and then there's a score, right? And on the playlist there's a song that samples that. I just thought it was like a deleted scene. I didn't even know it was in the film,
It
like of
was.
him saying that let's mine. Um, but at the same time, I thought people were complaining about the mid-credit scene all this time. I didn't know it was the post-credit scene they were complaining about.
No, that's
Um,
the post credit one.
yeah, I thought it was the mid-credit scene with Stack and
Mary?
Mary that they were complaining about. But I agree with your reading of it. Even I did have initial problems with the mid credit scene actually, because like I think where the movie ends, like the actual movie ends, I was like, oh okay, that's like I was there.
Yeah.
And then but the mid credit scene, as the more it went on, the more on board I was with it. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I think the idea that Sammy rejects vampirism all these years after is a
Mm-hmm.
great idea. The idea that like um Stark honors that actually is a great idea,
Yeah.
as long as along with honoring his brother's wishes. The
Mm-hmm.
idea that like they both agreed that that was like the best day of their lives,
Yeah.
like all of that. So at first I was like, oh, I just because like emotionally where I was when the movie ended, I was like, I'm okay ending there. But like the
Mm-hmm.
more the mid credit scene went on, the more I was like, okay, I get why you're doing this.
I agree with you, and I liked the mid credit scene as well, because it just shows that at the bare minimum, the twins and Sammy did get their own happy endings, whatever that was for them.
Well, yeah, um, okay, I guess so. You can't smoke dying and going to meet his family like as a
Yeah.
happy.
I don't think Smoke would want to continue living
If
without
he wouldn't,
Stack and
you're
without
right.
Annie.
You're right about that. You're right
Yeah.
about that. So what you're saying is that you don't like those people on Twitter think that Stack and Mary are tortured and in a perpetual loop, and that's why you shouldn't like white women as those people.
God. I don't have any comments. Like
Like
that
I
man
said,
is happy.
I'm trying to avoid.
Please.
I'm trying to avoid the Twitter takes. Should we do 5 minutes on hacks?
Let's please. Let's.
I I think what's going to happen. We are going to come back at the end of the season talk about hacks properly.
Yes, let's do that actually.
Yes. Well, but we know just somewhere you are now, 4 episodes in, where are you on hacks? Like the
I'm happy. I like it. Yeah, it feels like OG season hacks. It's like very exciting. I'm excited to watch. Not that season 2 and 3 were
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
like, it's just there's more fun. I'm
Do you think?
liking this
Yeah,
what?
go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
I like this season more than the last 2, and especially with episode 4, I'm so happy, like, how it ended. I hate when my girls are fighting.
But isn't the
I
show best when they're fighting?
It is, but this fight was,
This fight was bad because Ava was trying to not fight,
yes,
and at every point, Deborah was rebuffing her. Do you think the show
exactly.
is less funny?
Mm, no, I don't.
I don't have an answer for it. It's just something that came to my head when I was thinking about this episode because, like, I'm enjoying this season. Let me not get this wrong, and I think it might
Yeah.
even be better. Like you're right. I think it has evolved, but I don't
Mhm.
know if like there's still some very funny things, but I don't know if it's like less. Like I think I laugh out loud less.
Less? Fair.
But again, I might be wrong. But I still think
Mm,
it's excellent. I mean, lots of shows.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's less like 10,000 jokes per minute and more like reaction shots and
Mhm.
stuff. But that being said, in episode 3 in Vegas,
Yeah.
when the mayor comes,
That was funny.
I have had a hate love relationship with the mayor. And yes, I said hate before love over the course of the show. But when she comes, she's throwing heaters. There's a point she
No, it
says
was really good.
EB instead of easy. And she's like, oh, sorry, autocorrect. And I was like, what? Are you
Yeah.
insane? How are you saying autocorrect for a spoken word? I was
Word. No.
like she was when
That
she was
scene was
drunk.
hilarious.
She was like, I need someone to scratch my back. I leave alone. I was like, this is an incredible
No, it was a
performance.
good scene. It was really good. It was really good.
Uh, yeah. And so, like, episode 4 ends with the first episode coming up. Like, we should talk about the fact that she performs for one person, right?
Mhm,
Thanks to
and
the
it's
advice of
Ava.
the legendary Carabonet. It has to
I
be Ava. It
teared
always
up.
had to be Ava.
I teared up.
When
I
she's
was
performing
like
for Ava.
yeah, like, when like, everyone goes quiet and it's Ava, I was
Yeah.
like, "You're gonna make me cry."
But
I
just to be
loved it.
clear, you don't have to be a couple, a romantic couple.
Please, let's stop this. Let's stop this, please. Not every relationship has to be romantic, guys. Please. As a society, we
Look,
need to we need to stand against this. It's not normal. You can't want every
not normal.
relationship to be romantic. I'm begging you. This is not normal behavior.
Uh, I was so
Please.
scared going into this episode 4 because I saw some tweets were like, "This is the gayest episode of Hacks," and I was like, "I really hope the show doesn't do it." I get it. You don't know how much I really hope the show doesn't do that because yeah.
I'm
So
praying. I
so
hope it's just because of like the go-go dancers and the cage and
maybe
the
hopefully yeah, but like,
it cannot be Deborah and Ava.
yeah,
Please.
you and I know what like people want for Deborah and Emma. I was just like, no, come on,
No.
come on. Like I love Deborah and
No.
Ava as much as anybody else, but like sometimes it's not that. Like I think people have a problem believing that like you could be as close as Deborah and Ava are and say
Yes.
the things that they say to each other without actually having to be romantic. Like
No.
Ava wants Deborah to place her as number one at life. That doesn't necessarily mean romantic. It's just like they've been through
Yeah.
everything.
These are
Anyway,
emergency contact. Guys, please,
she forgot to change it.
I don't know, let's reassess. Let's get mental.
um, I need to go watch Sinners, my second screening, so I have to let everybody go. The
Mhm.
listeners. We'll talk about hacks. We'll back end of season talk about hacks properly, give the proper discussion.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm talking about Sinners many more times over the course of the next 10, 20 years. I really, really love this movie. I'm so proud of everybody involved. I know none of them.
Yes.
I'm so proud of everyone involved. Yeah, like Ludwig and his wife worked in this film together. Ryan and his wife worked in this film together. That's just really
Shout out to
cool.
real lovers.
Okay.
Sorry.
Shout out to Haley Steinfeld.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
Alright.
Apparently, she
Alright.
might be almond milk. It might not be pure. Like it might be almond. Look.
I'm
I'm
begging
going off.
you.
I'm going
I'm
off the facts
begging
being given.
you.
That's all I'm saying. I'm
I'm
going off the
actually
facts being given.
begging. Stop
Shout out
this.
to Owen Wasaku, shout out to Jamie Lawson. I did talk about
Shout
her
out
because
to
that's Ebuka's corner.
actually,
Um,
pause. I do want to say that woman. Ugh.
which one?
Amen. Jamie.
Oh, Jamie. Her performance is
Oof.
really good. Her performance,
Mm.
like the musical performance, is really good.
Sh- Shout out to her.
Okay, shout out to everybody, man. This is an incredible movie. I don't think anything is going to pass it this year for me. I think this is my number one. It's the same way I felt after I watched Oppenheimer. It's just like I can't think of anything that'll be better than this rest of the year. Okay, shout out to everybody. Thank you very much, Lade. Thank you. We'll probably talk in maybe like 4 weeks. There's a weird
Yeah.
hack schedule. I think they're releasing 2 episodes in 1 week next week or something like that. But we're talking
Okay.
like 4 weeks for the finale. And quick yes or no, did you watch Your Friends and Neighbors?
I did.
The first episode. Did you like it, yes or no?
First two. I love it.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.